all because they forced me into the supposed lolcow that I'm not. But really, are you guys so desperate for attention that you're willing to try and rehash the same old shit just to get my attention? You're not really getting my attention that way anyway. You're getting my attention because it's pathetic, petty, and ridiculous. That's how stale and bad your content is, to the point where you're actually desperate for new lolcows that you make up on the spot. And it was somehow so effective, Deadwing Dork believes I'm a lolcow, when I'm not. People like Nick Nobody, Cow Wrangler, and even your friend Zippity, which isn't really your friend to begin with. If this is the direction where supposed A-loggers go, it's getting pretty fucking desperate, and I'm not even mad. I'm not even really mad at all. It's just nothing. There's nothing going on. It's just pathetic drummed up drama whoring for the sake of pathetic drama whoring. Nothing of value to see here. Just the same old shit and same old attention grab. Thank you all for watching. I'm Bryan Mullins The Fox, signing out.
Do parents even care to say that? Or do they just not think? Are they just fucking NPC? Keep child porn illegal. I'm a fucking retard. I can conflate child porn with child sexual assault material or even child rape being recorded by some fucking predatory rapist loser. Hey, anybody who has kids who disagrees with me, you're part of the problem. You have never taught your kids any sex ed without sugarcoating it. Because it's too inappropriate. Nothing's too inappropriate. You hear children cussing all the time, and you people are the problem. Parents, the government, these child sex trafficking rings, these predators and pedophiles, you're all part of the same problem that you contribute to. If pancake batter matters to you the most, pick a wall and stick to it. I don't fucking care anymore. Pick a wall and fucking stick to it. I'm almost 25 years old and I know for a fact that I'm right. I know for a fact that I'm right. I'm not gonna tolerate anybody's bullshit. I'm too old for this shit. I'm not even in my 30s and I know that I'm too old for this shit. Alright? This is the last time I'll ever have any conversation with any of you fucking anti-CP retards and pro-pedophiles.
Hi everybody, I am Bryan Mullins The Fox, ready to make this upcoming summer a blast before it happens. With, for example, many of these trust the science NPCs and moral busybodies believed that people who believed that the virus originated from a lab in Wuhan, China were a bunch of kooky conspiracy theorists, and years later they admit that the people who believed the lab leak theory were right all along. Religiously and tribalistically motivated genocides throughout many millennia. I'll give you a few examples. And finally, see The Roast Game, 1998 to 2016, when families in America and Canada, instead of eating hams and turkeys as the centerpiece of Christmas dinner, substituted that with the butt meat of children they slaughtered for not believing in Christmas, after the Jim Henson Company and Hallmark Entertainment bought 45% of a religious yet predominantly Christian network known as the Odyssey Channel. Meaning that since these parents thought and believed that the Muppets are satanic, they were spooked that it was announced that it would be on that channel for the spring of 1999. And they took that as a massive threat to their children and other people's children because they saw it as the Muppets were coming to take over and interrupt their religious programming in the spirit of Christmas back then, making their own children questioning their own religious and Christmas beliefs in the process. 18,568,322 children in America and a whopping 86,063,825 of them in Canada, all of which lost their lives basically for nothing. Before all this happened, the consumption and waste numbers for hams and turkeys respectively were looking like they were stagnating, all the way up to 1997. The acquisition from the Jim Henson Company and Hallmark Entertainment on November 16, 1998, and the reaction from a day later was the last straw to these parents. All they could have done is change the channel for Christ's sake. They should have embraced the spirit of Christmas with the acquisition instead of genociding children for the most retarded reason in human history. I hit my teenage years, I grow up, I first learned how to masturbate when I was still 14 and months away from turning 15, and it was just at that time when I hit puberty, and it was right around the time when I first got around to my first actual long-term fictional character crush, known as Sasha LaFleur. Because we live in an inherently cold and cruel religious world in this country. And like I mentioned earlier, I would have died at the end of 2017 had I chose not to move in with my dad. But before I get into how I became an atheist in 2016 and why, I'll have to admit that it's easier remembered than forgotten when it comes to memories of me being physically beaten up and abused for questioning the Bible, and abused throughout the months before I left Tennessee. I know what I wrote about rape was and is wrong, and is the reason that I got kicked out of high school in my senior year. That's why I didn't mean them. But I'm sure shit that the physical abuse that happened to me wasn't because of the inappropriate rape comments when I was an unself-aware fucktard in high school, just writing edgy shit for shock value. This is how I became an atheist. It all started with me becoming aware that debate.org existed, and I was really in the mood for debating to try and supposedly prove God's existence. The only thing that did occur that sparked all the coping and seething was when Spaz and a few others fired up a live stream response/reaction to my video on the same day or night the video in question that I made came out, on April 9th. As soon as I commented, "Did you really have to distort my voice?" a bunch of seething and coping and seething went down. And why they would even dare to try and respond to the video at all, or at least react to it. Why would they give it that power? Why would you give me power to make this video a thing, I wonder? When you destigmatize behavior like a pedo wanking to the preferred porn of choice, you don't say that it's normal for anyone to do it because other kinds of porn exist, yet you don't see anywhere near the stigma that this kind of porn that pedos jerk off to gets. You say that regardless of all the degenerate and disgusting filth they jerk off to, they're more likely to feel comfortable enough to seek help just to stop doing what they do and stop thinking about coming near children and improve if you let them. Child predators, much like any other type of sexual predator, did not just come out of nowhere. That's a myth. They came from somewhere, in some broken home, where they're never taught any proper amount of sexual education that's appropriate enough, including the dangers of manufacturing consent, sexually transmitted diseases, and even the real problem that even predators aren't aware of. And that's the worst part. You won't be able to maintain privacy or even a platform on these social media giants anymore without having something or someone to risk as a shield or sacrifice against criticism, or bullshit trolling, bad advice, and all the words being touted as such. The catch-22 when it comes to trolls is either you shouldn't give your trolls and detractors power by responding or coming off as if they're getting a rise out of you, but if you don't respond, they will still get more power against you, even if you've done nothing wrong.
I always fucking hated that every single time forced humor becomes the basis of all things when it comes to introducing new lolcows to people's attention, as opposed to a repetitive and vicious cycle of bad behavior from someone who's struggling with a mental or even physical disability like Cyrax, freaking out, doxing, and deplatforming. You're supposed to separate normal and even mostly unique people from the lolcows in question, because if you don't, you're gonna get people like me being labeled a fucking lolcow when all I did was make the terrible mistake of listening to someone who lied about Lio Convoy and Ben Maza. And people are lolcows not because of who or what they are or their mental or physical condition. It's what they do that makes them laugh at you. It's what you say that makes and becomes their entertainment.